You will know exactly when to buy and sell the crypto market by the end of this video. This applies to everyone, short-term and long-term players. I'm also going to explain exactly when I plan on buying altcoins again. This is especially important if you have a smaller portfolio and you need higher returns. I'm also going to make this incredibly simple for everyone to understand. No complex trading terms, no complex strategies, just basic stuff everyone can do. And I don't use many fancy strategies myself. I'd go as far as to say I'm more qualified than those who do, like the quants at Alameda, because I haven't lost $10 billion. I use the basics combined with good risk management and psychology. Everyone watching this video can do that, so let's get into it. So we're going to start with the weekly chart. And I like two levels, which I saw highlighted by Cred on Twitter, which I think it can be very, very nice for beginners to base their strategy off of. And I'm going to add a few more levels as well. The first key price point on Bitcoin that we're going to look at is backed by a few different data points over here. So that's going to be this level here. This is our first key support, 12K level, support 1. Now, this brings us quite a few opportunities. Firstly, if someone were to ask me right now, what's a good price to buy Bitcoin at if I just want one lump sum investment and never have to think about it again, I'd probably go for 12K. Because our next support would be at 10K, just below that, which is much less probable for the price to get to. I mean, it's more than possible. We have no idea what's going to happen. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see a wick drop down there. For example, price comes down to here, bounces around here for a while. We have one quick wick down and then go off into the next bull market over the next year or two. That's very possible. But if I were to just pick one level, buy and forget, it's 12K. But I also don't think it's a good strategy to just buy and forget. So let me give you better strategies. That would be use opportunity 1. You've got a buy point over here. You set yourself a stop loss at below 10K and say between 8 and 9K. So take a look over here. You've got a very nice long-term trade. Now, you're not just going to buy, set the stop loss and forget. You can always move your stop loss up, follow with trailing profits, really anything above 20K. Like even if the price gets back up to 20K from this 10K level, you're still looking at a 2 risk to reward ratio, and you could just buy this long term. So it's a very good level to go for that buy, and you could do a similar thing again at 10K, but maybe move your stop loss a little bit lower. So that's how we would use those supports in isolation. Now we can add a few more things to make this better. We've got a very important resistance over here at the 20K level. Now, this is not an area to short for the average trader. Basically, just avoid shorts if you're not going to be an active trader. For most people, just stick to long, stick to buy opportunities. We can actually use this resistance really well. So the first thing we'd use this resistance for is making these buys better. So now we've got our stop loss at say 8K, and then we target upside at 20K. Suddenly we've still got a 2.27 risk to reward ratio, but we can sell at the first resistance. If we don't want to, we could sell at the 100-day moving average, and now we've got a 7.92 risk to reward ratio, and it gets better and better the higher the price goes. So that resistance can be very useful. The other regard in which the resistance can be useful is if the price gets back above here, we could be looking at a more bullish scenario. So the next way in which this could be useful is if this is just a deviation here. For example, we go sideways a bit and then we get back above, which is very possible. I would not be buying any longs until we get back above this level or down to this support. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not a good position to be in. If you're a more advanced trader, you could look for some shorts, but I would not be touching those right now for most people. Now, if you want to know exactly when to buy altcoins, this is the ETH BTC chart, one of the best places to find out when to buy altcoins. Now, this puts up the value of Ethereum against the value of Bitcoin. It has very reliably been an indicator of strength for altcoins. You can see March 20th, the shift here, as the market stopped going down and started going up. That's when it was a good time to start betting more on altcoins than it was on Bitcoin. And then periodically, there have been bad periods for altcoins. Like if you take a look here, this syncs up with bull market rallies. Bull market goes up, peaks, comes down in a bearish condition, goes up, comes down. They've actually held pretty decently against Bitcoin on this leg down. But yeah, let's look at our key level. So first resistance we've got here, and I've been a little bit aggressive with, is about 0.85. 0.85 is the level you want to be watching. Once we get above here, that could very well be a sign of a new alt season where we want to start looking outside of Bitcoin into other alternatives. On the other side, I've got a few levels I'm watching where we're going to get much more bearish on the altcoin market in general. We want to pay attention to the general trend here. We've got a high, a lower high, and now if the price comes back down and continues this trend of setting lower highs, that would be a very bearish sign where I just generally wouldn't want to be holding altcoins. I've got a key level here at 0.66, which again is another sign. So right now it does not look like a good time at all to buy altcoins, and I suspect the trend to continue downwards. The trend reverses when we get above 0.85. Until then, generally money seems safer in Bitcoin than it does in altcoins. The other thing you can start doing is weekly buys on Bitcoin, where you want to dollar cost average in, and you want to get an average price below 20K, which means a minimum, you're going to get a 3x return if we hit all-time highs again on every single Bitcoin you buy. So you don't care where the price goes, just for the next, say, year or two, you accumulate in this range as long as the price is below 20K and you're hoping to get at least a 3x return on your investments. I would not do this with a large percentage of my portfolio, but it is a pretty solid bet that has historically done really well. That being said, there is one concern, and I've seen Alex Becker post about this a lot on Twitter, is that Bitcoin has never actually been through a real recession. It's always been somewhat of good global market conditions, so we've never really seen it take this strong a test, so there is that cause for concern. Personally, I am bullish on the crypto industry. I do not plan on going anywhere, and if you'd like to have me helping you along on this journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.